Alrighty, welcome to my digital forensics final presentation by Whitney Chambliss. So, why digital forensics? Digital forensics and really computer forensics has a long history, which is dated back to the 1950s, where they would have these people called phone freaks, and they were kind of considered the first hackers. And they would hack into the phone lines to make free international long distance calls because for a long time you had to pay for long distance and international calling up until about the early mid 2000s. And so these people would break into these phone lines, hack into these phone lines to make free calls. And so, you know, digital forensics really came about. I was in like the 1980s. This is when the personal computer was really popular. The layman person was able to own their own computer, and so now you have, um, and of course, once the internet was created, you have people now able to communicate with each other, exchange information, different things like that. So naturally, computer crimes grew exponentially. And hackers, they really started to excel in the 80s. And you had people like Eric Corley, who published a magazine in 1984 that basically exchanged ideas for hackers. And this way, hackers were able to gain different ideas and also share their own. Um, but in 1986, the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act was passed, um, which helps protect people under computer fraud and, um, of course, computer abuse. And this act has been amended. I mean, since it was passed, it's been amended so many times just because of new technology and different things that would come along with it. So now you have to pass different laws. Um, One person that I learned about was Kevin Mitnick, who was convicted of stealing firmware in 1989. And, this is the reason, people like him are the reason why you know, Computer Fraud and Abuse Act had to be passed. He was considered one of the earliest hackers. Um, digital forensics, it helps us solve computer crimes, not only crimes like online theft or network breaches when hackers breach different networks, but also crimes like murder and armed robbery. Um, it's so much evidence that can be used and examined digitally that we don't even realize. All right, so the fundamentals of digital forensics. Digital forensics is broken up, well, you can break it up into about 5 different areas, which is database forensics. That's a person that's investigating databases and reporting changes that may have been made to a database, especially if they're trying to catch a criminal, someone that has hacked into, let's say, someone else's, uh, you know, database, and now they have to see who made these changes, who was the administrator at the time, how did this administrator make these changes. um Another area is network forensics, which is just someone who would analyze and monitor network activity. And computer forensics, of course, this person investigates computers and digital storage evidence. Forensics data analysis. Um, you will examine the structure of data, found the application systems and databases. This is really aimed to detect and analyze fraudulent activity. And then, last but not least, mobile device forensics. It recovers digital evidence from mobile devices, which is pretty self explanatory. The fundamentals of digital forensics continued. We reading Hayes's book, The Practical Guide to Digital Forensics, was very, very informative this semester. I really enjoyed it. And, a lot of the information that is that will be talked about in this presentation is going to be from his book. And one of the things that I found very interesting was some of the skills that he thought a digital forensics investigator should have, which is knowledge of computer science, basically knowing and having experience with operating systems and file systems, um, having knowing the legal side. I mean, you don't have to be a lawyer, but you would want to know the federal and state laws, especially when it comes to computer forensics. You want to know, um, about how warrants work, because when dealing with digital forensics, I mean, you're basically dealing with evidence of a crime. So you have to know how warrants work, how you'll be able to obtain someone's hard drive or something like that. So the next thing you would recommend that you have is good communication skills, being able to write reports, document your findings, and stating that clearly. Um, so that's a big thing. Then you want to being bilingual. It's also a great ability to have, especially how the world is now. It's we all work together. It's easy to work with someone that does not live in your country, and being bilingual is definitely a plus. Having a knowledge of programming and programs like Linux and Python, is not a must, but that would definitely help. Um, when looking for a job in digital forensics, that'll definitely help. Um, One second, sorry about that. And also learning constantly. I talk to, sorry about that. One second. Um, we were down here, constant learning, and I talked to an IT professional. We had to interview them. This was for one of my classes over the summer, and it was very interesting because he told me that he's been in IT for over 30 years. He's been in the military, and he said that the number one thing that is you never stop learning. You never stop learning. So you never stop being able to develop new techniques and solutions that will make you a great digital forensics investigator. Alrighty, so software tools for digital investigators. They have a lot of tools. I mean, a lot of tools. I'm just gonna discuss a few here. Again, this is from the Hayes um, 2020 Practical Guide to Digital Forensics book. And he had a good few ones. Network Analyzer was one I thought was pretty cool. You can scan the Wi Fi connections and you can uncover all the IP addresses connected to that Wi Fi using that one. Um, The Cop app was an interesting one. An investigator or user of police can use this to create reports and take photos, upload audio recordings, take notes, and it can also automatically be converted to a PDF for them, which is very convenient. The Lock and Code, which was created by the International Association of Computer Investigative Specialists. Um, they created this as a reference guide for lab technicians. System status, provide information on battery, memory, router cables, etc. About an iPhone or iPad. Um, some other investigative tools is the Sleuth Kit, an autopsy forensics browser. This allowed investigators to examine files on a hard disk drive's volume. It supports FAT, NTFS, and more. The autopsy is used with the sleuth kit. I found that this tool is free to download, and you can also it does not take long to get the results back. One popular forensics tool is actually called Forensics Toolkit, and it's a bit streaming and analysis software. And I mean, they have the demo trial, but the software, which I thought was very, very interesting, was $4,500 annually. And you can also pay extra for on demand training and this thing called FTK Connect, which connects you to a whole community of people that use it. But yeah, 4,500 is it's a lot. But this has been a award winning software, and it's been used in many court trials. Another one I actually learned about this one throughout the semester, just doing research, was Exum. I think that's how I'm saying it. It was created by Magnet Forensics, and it basically helps you recover old deleted files from mobile devices, smartphones, and IoT devices, and even connects to the cloud. And like I said, it helps you recover and analyze files that has been deleted and all the files on mobile devices. And you can imagine this is a great product. Actually, the case study that I'm going to review, we are actually going to talk about them using this product, and you can request a demo. But basically, they did not have a price on there. I know you do have to pay for it eventually, but I think like when you reach out for the demo, I think they'll send you the price or something like that. But it wasn't readily available, so I can't necessarily say how much it was. Um, the case study I chose was the Alex Murdaugh case. They actually created a documentary for this. I think it's about two or maybe two on documentaries, different documentaries that you can go and look up. But basically, um, this guy Alex Murdaugh, June 7th, he called the police saying he found his wife and his son Paul and his wife Maggie killed by the dog kennels. Um, he didn't know what happened. He said he just got there. Later we find out that they were killed by gunshots. And then not too far after that, he gets injured in the shooting on the road. Um, and then once that happens, he checks himself into rehab. He also resigns from his family's law firm that he was over at the time. Then September 14th, we found out that the shooting was set up by him, and he did it. He hired someone to kill him essentially, so his other son, could collect life insurance. So he was arrested for insurance fraud and conspiracy to commit fraud for that reason. In between September in November, he is indicted on 27 cases. They end up uncovering that he was money laundering, computer crimes, and just different things that was adding up. In July of the next year, he was indicted on murder for his wife and son. This is because during all of their investigating since June, they finally did a deep dive on the son's phone, and they found the picture of a video of the son, and he had the dad at the scene with them at the dog kennel. Now Alex, which is the dad, said that he was not at the scene when they were killed. He just ended up finding them. But from when they found the video on the son's phone using a digital forensics tool, they found out that this was a lie. And Magnet Forensics, like I mentioned earlier, they were the ones, their product is what was used, which was basically Gray Key. They used it to get into the full file system of the phones um, that they were investigating, and one of them was the son's. And like I said, they found the video of the dad being there with the son and the mom yelling on the phone. Um, when they were examining this, they had to make sure that they didn't mistakenly reset it using Magnet. Adam, they extracted the information from the mobile phone. Um, they were able to examine their cloud, um, the mobile files, um, and just all this information they were able to recover. And like I said, they were able to find the video that had the uh, voice and face of Alex Murdaugh. By March 2nd, they found him guilty of killing his wife and son. And if it wasn't for digital forensics, um, Alex would not be behind bars. So, and this is my reference page. Um, I think I learned a lot with this class. I am heavenly leaning on, getting more into digital forensics after learning so much about it. And yeah, I just thank you for having me as a student. And I wish you well, Professor Williams.